Hey guys, it's Robert. We're going to go over the best practices in our mosquito service, kind of go into a little bit of detail on how the different mosquito services work, as well as how to sell them and discuss them with your customers. A little bit about me, if you guys don't know already. I kill bugs. I've been in this industry a little over 10 years now. I started in Orlando, applying first as a lawn technician, got in here, moved into pest control, really started to get in and excited about the sales opportunities that were here, which when I first came in, sales were the last thing that I wanted to do. But once I kind of realized how I could actually help my customers out with most of our services, it became exciting. After I think about 6 years, I ended up moving up to Iowa and joining on with another pest control company, and then just really wasn't my thing. Not the same type of mentality that we had down here at Prostaff, and so we opened up a Prostaff up in Iowa, and so we've been jamming along up there, and then came back down here to Orlando to take on a sales manager role, and it's pretty exciting for me. Some of the things I'm really passionate about and really enjoy is team building, helping people out, helping them grow in their career. It's what's happened with me, so I like to kind of pass that on and try to at least try to help people out to be successful as well. And then things in my personal life, I've been married for over 9 years to my high school sweetheart, Ashley, and I'm a big animal lover, so I have a bunch of dogs, always have animals around the house, and that's enough about me. So with mosquitoes, there's actually 3,500 different species of mosquitoes in the world, 175 here in the U.S. And mosquitoes carry some of the world's deadliest diseases. We have West Nile virus, dengue fever, yellow fever, malaria. Mosquitoes, female mosquitoes, they have to have a blood meal. They bite us. So what attracts them to us are chemicals in the skin. There's actually research out there. They prefer different blood types over others. Some of the times the stuff that we eat or the stuff that we drink may make us more attractive, as well as different colors that we wear. Some of the tendencies of mosquitoes, they tend to rest at least every 15 feet. And so that's a good thing to talk to about your customers when we're talking about our service and why it is successful. They say, well, if you're just treating my yard or my property, why is, and my neighbors aren't treating, how's this going to be successful? Well, with the mosquito having to land every 15 feet or so, they're going to pick up our product and they're going to die in pretty short order after that. So that's a pretty important fact. There's some mosquitoes that are only going to fly a couple hundred feet in their entire lifespan. There's some that can go further than that, but it's just kind of another one of those little facts to know. Mosquitoes typically live less than 2 months. Only the female mosquito actually bites. The males don't. The males are actually going after nectar and other things. All your mosquitoes like shaded, moist areas to live in and breed in. So the type of properties they enjoy most are going to be ones that have a lot of trees, a lot of shrubs, where it's just easier for those mosquitoes to thrive. All your mosquitoes need some type of moisture or water to lay their eggs. Treatment, one thing that we've done now for several years is our conventional treatment. What we do is we use a backpack mister. So this is a modified a backpack blower that basically has a chemical feed that drops that chemical down into the blower itself and then blows out a fine mist. Why this works so much better than just a lawn company spraying the yard or a spraying with a backpack sprayer is this makes fine little droplets that are going to make their way underneath the leaves, underneath the decks, underneath areas where the mosquitoes are actually going to rest during the day and at night. So when the mosquito goes under that leaf to rest during the heat of the day, they're going to pick up a little bit of this product and they're going to die. If you're just spraying with a normal sprayer, you're going to hit the top of the leaf and that product's going to fall over and not really get to where we want it to be. At least it's not going to last anywhere near as long as it is if it's something underneath the leaf that's protected from the elements. The high spot of our treatments are May through October. We can do this service year round depending on the tolerance of your customer, but that tends to be the high season for it. One of the things people are always worried about, and much more so in the last few years, are beneficial pollinators, and so not hurting or killing any of our honeybees or bumblebees or wasp, any of your beneficial pollinators. So if you have any flowering areas, we have to avoid that doing our conventional treatments. One of the other things we need to be very careful of is if you have any bodies of water, we can't use our conventional treatments around those areas. How the treatment itself works that we're currently using, we use a microencapsulate growth regulator mix. Right now we're using Demand CS and Archer. Archer is the growth regulator. It's a nice growth regulator because it's actually UV resistant. It's going to last quite a bit longer than most of your other growth regulators that are on the market. Of course, it helps prevent the mosquitoes from reproducing, and it extends the life of really the effectiveness, I guess, of the treatment if you were just using a residual product like Demand. Demand is a microencapsulate product, so if you blew up Demand underneath the or put it under a microscope, you'd actually see these little beads under there that are different sizes. The smaller beads are made to release quickly, and so that gives a quick knockdown on the mosquitoes that are out there, and then some of your larger microencapsulates take more time to break down to open up again. So it's kind of like a time-released medication that you would take, and it gives it, so we have a nice knockdown initially, but then we have that nice slow release of the product staying efficient for a longer period of time. So the other treatment that we offer is the Indicare system. It's a really cool treatment. It doesn't use any chemical sprays. Basically what we do is we have these stations that we put throughout the property. Each station treats, in the ballpark of 4,000 to 4,500 square feet. And the way this works is inside the station, we'll fill it up with water, and then we put a mix in there. That mix has a few different things. It has an attractant for the female mosquito, the Aedes mosquito. They're going to want to come there and lay their eggs. The other thing it has is a larvicide. So when those eggs are laid, they're going to reach the larval stage and not be able to pupate and make it to an adult. So you don't have adult mosquitoes. The nice thing about allowing the egg to hatch and turn into larva is that scent attracts more mosquitoes to lay more eggs. So you'll continue to get more to come in there. And then the other thing that makes this product different than really anything else on the market is there's a screen gauze-like floater that sits on top of the water. So when the female mosquito comes in to lay her eggs, she's going to land on that gauze and then lay her eggs and then fly off. But what's on the gauze itself is two different things. It's, again, another growth regulator that will, a larvicide that prevents the larva from producing to an adult. And anywhere else she goes after she leaves, she's going to transfer that larvicide. So if there's bodies of water around there that we have not identified, she's actually transferring that larvicide and essentially sterilizing those points as well. And then there's also a fungus that she's going to pick up. That fungus attacks her from the inside and kills her within a couple days thereafter. So it's a really kind of cutting edge, innovative product that we've began to offer over the last couple of years, and we've had great success with it. So you get somebody that is really worried about chemicals sprayed on the property, or somebody that may have animals on the property that they can't remove during treatment. This is the ticket. You offer this, we go out there, we change them out monthly, or re-up them monthly. So what we're going to go over real quick is a quick video by Syngenta on their Demand CS Archer Mix. And let's see if we can get this to play here.
The Mosquito Assurance Program from Syngenta combines Demand CS insecticide and Archer insect growth regulator to provide up to 60 days of control. It's an easy service to add to a general pest treatment cycle, helping you increase revenue with less time, resources, and overall labor costs. With Demand CS, you'll have one of the industry's most powerful insecticides. Its active ingredient is up to 20 times more effective against insects than other products thanks to ICAP technology. Inside the formulation, millions of microcapsules surround the active ingredient with dual-wall construction. This allows Demand CS to withstand powerful UV rays and pH extremes. The capsules are also formed in varying sizes that readily adhere to pests on contact. Smaller capsules quickly release the active ingredient for a fast knockdown, while larger ones provide a longer release for lasting residual control. But that's not all. ICAP technology has even made Demand CS the only lambda-cyhalothrin insecticide approved by the World Health Organization for effective mosquito control. As for Archer Insect Growth Regulator, you can also count on extended residual control both indoors and out, thanks to its unique photostability. But most important, Archer can effectively interrupt the reproductive cycle of mosquitoes. So when you apply these two products together, Demand CS and Archer will effectively reduce mosquito populations and control a broad spectrum of other pests. Before applying the products, you'll need to inspect the property. While walking around the area, pay attention to adverse effects from wind or weather. Remove any impermanent objects. Empty out standing water and ensure that pets are kept safely indoors. After the inspection, it's time to put on the proper safety gear. You should wear pants, a long-sleeve shirt, eye protection, and proper gloves. A respirator is also recommended, but it is not required in most states. Effective mosquito control does require a mist blower, such as this Stihl SR200. Here are some other suitable models. Refer to the manufacturer's owner's manual for general operating instructions, and review the procedure for adjusting droplet size and pressure. Before mixing the products in your mist blower, be sure to read and follow all label instructions, thoroughly reviewing the specifics regarding mosquito application. You will also need to ensure that you are properly licensed to apply Demand CS and Archer in your area. To begin mixing, fill the tank with half the total volume of water to be mixed. Then you can measure the products. Syngenta recommends 0.8 fluid ounces of Demand CS and 1 fluid ounce of Archer per gallon of spray solution for effective mosquito control over a 60-day treatment cycle. After you pour the appropriate amount of product in the tank, securely reinstall the cap on your mist blower and agitate. After that, you can add the remaining water, securely reinstall the cap, and agitate the tank one more time to finish mixing. Now you're ready to apply, but keep in mind that you may need to refill your tank depending on the size of the treatment area. It's important to focus your spray on areas where mosquitoes typically rest, especially places that harbor adult females. These mosquitoes are the ones responsible for biting people and other mammals because they need a blood meal to develop their eggs. They also pose a serious public health risk by transmitting diseases such as West Nile virus and dengue. As you move throughout the property, look for surrounding vegetation, ensuring the spray makes contact with the underside of leaves. You should seek out shady areas such as those underneath decks and porches as well. There are certain plants and trees that provide natural containers for mosquitoes to breed in. These should be treated or modified to reduce breeding sites. A maximum application height of 10 to 15 feet will ensure proper coverage of mosquito resting areas. You will likely need to adjust the nozzle on your mist blower as you direct the spray from low to high areas. Also note that some areas don't require treatment. Grassy lawns and flower or vegetable gardens are not typical resting sites for mosquitoes, and oftentimes these areas contain beneficial insects. You are not allowed to make applications that contact bodies of water containing fish or wildlife. There may be situations when a property is not a candidate for a mosquito application. If there is no surrounding vegetation in the landscape and only a grassy lawn, the areas you can treat to effectively target mosquito resting sites will be limited. When you finish applying, the job isn't quite yet done. Successful mosquito suppression takes an integrated approach. It may be necessary to overturn containers that hold water, such as bird baths or pots, for a period longer than 7 days. This will help reduce potential breeding sites. You can also place larvicides in pools of water that cannot be emptied or removed, depending on the level of mosquito population present. Before leaving, it's also important to communicate with customers. You should educate them about mosquito control, remind them about the importance of wearing repellents, and offer tips for reducing breeding sites around the property. Lastly, make sure your customers know the necessary drying time before re-entry. With that, you can move to the next stop knowing your treatment will keep mosquito populations down and let customers enjoy their properties more. Demand CS insecticide and Archer insect growth regulator for life uninterrupted.
So this video basically just kind of goes over the main points of what we need to focus on when we're actually doing the treatment. I think one of the big points that it brings out that not all yards are an ideal candidate for mosquito. You have a yard that is just grass. There's no resting site for the mosquito, and that's basically how this product works. It is a residual product. One of the big, I think questions or statements you'll get from a customer when you may mention the mosquito service is, well, the city or somebody, one of the trucks come around and fog everything. That's the exact opposite of how this system works. Your foggers that are going around, the neighborhoods, that's using just the knockdown product. That's just going to kill on contact the adults that it touches. That's why they come out in late afternoon, dusk, to try to get as many mosquitoes that are out as possible, where this is working long-term in the areas where the mosquitoes are going to rest during the day or at night. So it doesn't matter what time of day we do it, you're going to have a nice long residual, that's going to continue on. So the next video we're going to go over, this is going to be the Indicare system, kind of their tutorial that they put out.
The Indicare trap targets mosquitoes that are ready to lay their eggs. The odor lure attracts Aedes mosquitoes, which can transmit Zika, dengue, and chikungunya virus and yellow fever. Attracted by the smelly water, the mosquito enters the trap and searches a spot to settle near the water's surface. The gauze on the floater is an ideal location for the insect to land. She uses the gauze to rest while laying her eggs in the water. Unknowingly, she contaminates the water with particles from the gauze. These particles were transferred to her skin when making contact with her legs and body. The gauze has a special coating that uses polarity to bind mosquito-killing powders. The positive charge of the insect makes the particles transfer to her skin. Her body is contaminated with two different actives, one that slowly kills the mosquito and one that kills her larvae. After a few days, the eggs laid in the trap hatch and become larvae. These larvae produce a smell that will attract more mosquitoes to lay eggs in the trap, thereby enhancing its effectiveness. The larvicide in the water kills the larvae just before they are ready to pupate. The dead pupae sink to the bottom and are eaten by younger larvae. If the trap contains many mosquito larvae, then this shows that it is working well. Fortunately, none of these larvae will ever become adult-biting mosquitoes. They will all be killed by the larvicide. After laying a batch of eggs, the now contaminated mosquito flies out of the trap. She goes and searches for another location to lay more eggs. Rainwater and an old car tire provides a nice spot to breed. When she contacts the water, the larvicide on her legs dissolves and contaminates the breeding site. This cycle is repeated when the mosquito continues to search for other places to lay her eggs. At every stop, she contaminates the water with larvicide. Even the very small quantities that are transferred can effectively kill all larvae. In this way, she kills her own offspring, as well as offspring from other mosquitoes that use the same breeding site. With this technique, we control mosquito breeding in and around the trap, even in sites that may be small and hard to find by pest control personnel. One trap effectively covers an area of 400 square meters, which is about 4,300 square feet. The larvicide is not the only bioactive in the trap. The second agent is an insect-killing fungus. Its spores attach to the mosquito skin upon contact with the gauze. This fungus is a safe biological active that does not infect humans or pets. The spores use germination tubes to penetrate the insect skin. Once inside the mosquito, the fungus produces blastospores that excrete toxins. This infection makes the mosquito less active and reduces its ability to bite humans. It also inhibits the development of viruses in the mosquito gut. A fungus-infected mosquito can therefore still spread larvicide around the trap but cannot transmit disease. After a few days, the mosquito succumbs to the fungus infection and dies.
Okay, so some of the benefits of what we offer as opposed to our competition. One of the nice things with our mosquitoes, we do offer a guarantee where we'll come back at least one time in between service and treat at no charge. We're one of the only, if not the only, that actually do that. Our pricing is very competitive, whether it's the Indicare or the conventional. The conventional is typically going to be more competitive on pricing than the Indicare system is. But that is a huge benefit on the mosquito side with that Indicare station, not having to use any chemical sprays. Some of the things when I talk to my customer, as far as like a current pest control customer, and you want to talk to them about mosquito, is, you guys spend a lot of time out, on the outside right now. And this video, of course, isn't always going to be current, but right now we're dealing with COVID-19, so everybody is spending time outside. Should be a really easy time right now to talk to people about protecting, themselves and their families from mosquitoes around the outside of the property. But it's, to me, mosquito is probably one of the easiest things to upsell, and it's one of the biggest benefits you have to the customer. It is a great service. It works really well. It's affordable. And that's basically it. Of course, I'm always open when you guys are out there. If you ever have any questions or before you get out there, feel free to give me a call. I can always go over, or we can get together and kind of go over anything that you have questions for. But thanks. Hopefully keep on going through the videos and learn a lot.